Now to cover a part of the game which I dread. Item settings and inventory management. We're going to go over every setting here, so let's get to it. Alright, so over here in item settings, we have a few different settings here, starting with inventory settings and inventory interface. So all inventory interface is just showing how much of your inventory you can see at once. So if you were to head over here to normal and take a look at that, this is default setting, and you open your inventory, this is what you should usually see. You can see a single page of your inventory, and you can cycle through all the different pages of your inventory here, each individual one. If you set it to expanded and you press apply and open your inventory, you can see more of your inventory here with different pages. And if you were to set your inventory to open all, my favorite one, and press I, you can just see your entire inventory, all of your items just at a glance right here like this without having to shift through the different pages. You do have key item, the crystals here for quests and crafting, but all of your main items are all here in the same area. Alright, as for your retainer inventory interface, this is very similar to your own inventory. It just retains to your retainer inventory. So if you have it set to normal, which is the default, and you were to look at your retainer inventory, you can see it's very similar to how your inventory would be, where you have the different pages, the different sections of the inventory that you can cycle through. If you were to set it to set this to expanded and take a look at your retainer, then you can see a lot more of your retainer's inventory. You have a total of 2 different sections here per tab. Unfortunately, there's no open all for your retainers, so this is the best you can do, but it's better than just a single page for each section of your inventory. Next, we have store all newly obtained items in the armory chest. This is a checkbox. If we were to have this checked, any new item that we get will be, any new gear piece that we get, I should say, will be stored within our armory chest here. Just directly stored in here and added into all this stuff. As you can see, it can get very cluttered very quickly. And I don't even have this checked most of the time. So if you have this unchecked, then any new gear you get will just be stored in your regular inventory. Like these 2 pieces of gear here. And that just makes gears way easier to manage. It's just way better, I think. This is the one I would personally go with, just unchecking this and making your life easier. If you do have this checked though, you have store all newly crafted items in your inventory. If you have this checked, then any gear you craft will be stored in your inventory. If this is unchecked, then your crafted gear will be stored in your armory chest, just like everything else. Our next box here is remove dim effect from unequipable gear in the armory chest. So if we open our armory chest, take a look at our gear, you can see a lot of this gear is kind of dimmed out, like it's just darker than some of the others. Like this is just much brighter and stands out way more than these other ones, same with like stuff like this and all that. In this case, all of this grayed out or dimmed gear is gear that you cannot equip. So if I were to try to equip it, I wouldn't be able to do that. It doesn't even give me the option here, like it does with this gear. If I were to switch jobs, then I have different gear that I can equip. If I were to check this box, now all the gear is just undimmed, I guess. So you can't really tell the gear that you can equip or can't equip at a glance. Because of that, I just like to have this unchecked so we can just see what we can and can't equip on our current job. And right here, we have store all newly obtained items in the last open inventory slot. This just improves your quality of life here. If you were to check this, any new gear or items you were to acquire would go right down here at the bottom of your inventory, instead of mixed in with all the other junk you have in your inventory. So that way you can tell what gear you just got and you're able to do what you want with it. Like sell it or desynthesize it or whatever. It's just far easier. I think I would recommend just checking this just to make your life easier. And below this, we have sub-command optimization. Now, before I open this, I just want to go to, let's say we'll go to the armory chest here. If you look at our armory chest and right click on any piece of gear or just in your inventory, you right click on anything, you see these commands here, right? These different things that you can do with this item, like using it, searching for it, which searches where you have this item, all kinds of stuff. Same with your armory chest. If you were to right click any weapon, you can see different commands, things you can do with that weapon. So if you were to go into subcommand customization, this lets you customize all the different commands you can do here. You can also choose to disable certain commands if you never use them and you don't want them here, just to clean up this subcommand menu here. So for instance, I don't want, let's say I didn't want searched or link. Let's say I didn't want link here. All right, so then we would just find link within our subcommand settings. If we scroll down here, maybe we can look for it. Link right here. So if we were to uncheck this and then apply, and then right click our axe again, link is now gone. So we don't have to see that in here, and it just cleans up this menu a little bit more. If we want to also change the order of the commands, so let's say we want item comparison to be at the top where equip is, and we want equip to be down here. If we were to find item comparison in our subcommand menu right here, and here is equip, all we do is just click on item comparison. We have these up and down arrows here. If we press up, we can move it up to where it is above equip gear. Press apply. Then if we right click our weapon, item comparison is right at the top. So we just go right into it whenever we want to compare the item with what we have equipped. Also, let's say there are certain commands that you do use, but pretty rarely, so you don't need them, like right here on the main menu, the main subcommand menu. That's what the second tier is for. It even tells you here. So if you were to, let's say, search recipes using the material, like this is one that I don't use very often, what we can do is just create a new menu, a new subcommand menu that's like below, that's under this one, right? So if we were to, let's say, search recipes, just find search recipes using this material, and then we hit this arrow here and it'll go into our second tier. Hit apply, and then right click the axe, and we have our whole first page here of our main subcommands, but we also have this second tier right here. If we click on that, we can see all of the actions we have here in our second tier. All right, next we have sort customization, and this is just how items in our inventory and armory chest are sorted. So for instance, item category, if we were to press I, we see all of our items here. So by default, it's set to standard, and that's basically what we have here. Like if we usually have gear at the top, followed by consumables. At the bottom, we have some more miscellaneous stuff like, clusters and totems and stuff like that. If we were to change this to reverse, it's just reverses everything. So apply that, and I press undo sort. If I press sort, it is now in the opposite, basically reversed from before. The gears at the bottom, our miscellaneous stuff is at the top. All right, next is required level, and I think better to look at the armory chest for this one. Let's say we look at our chest pieces, our tops, right? Our body pieces. If you press sort, they are sorted in a particular way, right? And that's all decided by what you choose here. So for required level, by default, it's set to descending. And required level, that's just what level your character needs to be to equip it. So if you look at this, level 90. And then I have different level requirements, like 70, this one's 60. And if you have it set to descending, the highest level required gear will be at the top, and the lowest level requirement will be at the bottom. For instance, I have level 90 gear here at the top, and then the bottom is like level 60, right? Which is the lowest level body pieces that I have. If I were to set this to ascending, it would do the opposite. So if I were to sort it, now the lowest level requirement stuff is here at the top, and the highest level requirement stuff is at the bottom. Now for item level, this is very similar to required level, it just pertains to item level. By default it's set to descending, which means the highest item level gear is right here at the top, followed by a lower item level gear further down. And at the very, well, not the very bottom, but like at the very bottom of the level 90 gear, we have our lowest level 90 gear, which is 590, right? And if we set this to ascending, it's gonna basically just reverse this. Where now the lowest item level stuff is at the top. Now this isn't overall lowest item level. If we go down here, we got even lower. But this here is the lowest item level for level 90 gear, right? Because level 90 is at the top. So again, that's just a way to do it. I like to have it set to descending, so that way my highest level and highest item level gear is at the top of my list. Now for stack size, an obvious use of this is just if you have two different stacks of the same item, stack size sorting is just going to determine which order like the different size stacks are sorted. For an example, like if we have these greens here, if I split them, I'll make like a stack of 100. Okay, a smaller stack of 100 right there. So with descending stack size, the larger stack is going to be sorted before the smaller stack. So if I were to right click and press sort, that's exactly what happened. The larger stack here, and then the smaller stack right after it. Now if we were to have this set to ascending, it would be the opposite, where the lower stack would be first, like so. All right, this next one, sort method, we have a couple options here: fill tabs in order or sort items into sections based on categories. If you have fill tabs in order, it's just going to sort all of your items. It's just going to have all the items together. It's just in a big clump like this. It's going to be sorted, right? But it's just going to be all together. If you have it set to sort items into sections based on category, it does this. So each section has like different types of items. Like this whole first page is going to be equipment. This whole second page is consumables. Then we have materia and stuff, and so on and so forth. We have some miscellaneous stuff in this last one. So this is just another way to sort items. If you prefer it to look like this, just to better see your stuff, it does look nicer like this, I'll be honest. But I like having it just filling it like that. And finally, for the shop settings section, we have a few checkboxes. The main one here is display confirmation prompts when selling items. With this, when you sell items, sometimes you'll get like a prompt like, are you sure you want to sell this, right? This is a great way to kind of prevent yourself from selling items that you didn't want to sell accidentally. So it can be nice for that, or it can be kind of intrusive when you're trying to sell items in bulk. Either way, that's what this does. You can have it set to getting a confirmation when you sell meldable items, spirit-bound items, or unique or untradeable items, or all three. And that's it for item settings. There wasn't a lot here, but item management can be rather annoying at times. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like it and maybe subscribe to the channel. I also have a video on the control settings. If you like this one, I would recommend checking that one out, where I go over all the control settings. Anyway, look forward to more videos, and I'll see you guys then. Bye.